Bueno, muy buenos días a todas las personas que se van conectando a esta sesión informativa de Colfuturo con Erasmus Medical Center en Países Bajos. Hoy nos encontramos con dos representantes que nos van a brindar información sobre la oferta académica, opciones de financiación y demás información relevante para que ustedes puedan iniciar su proceso con esta institución. Así que le doy la bienvenida a Jan y a Raúl, quienes nos van a acompañar para brindarnos esta información. También recordarles que hay un convenio entre Colfuturo y Erasmus Medical Center que les va a otorgar un porcentaje del 15% de descuento en el valor de su matrícula. Así que si alguno está interesado en los programas que Jan y Raúl nos van a mencionar más adelante y desean obtener este beneficio, los invito a que se postulen al programa Crédito Beca, que abre su convocatoria el próximo año, el 9 de enero. Así que esa sería la información para que en caso de que quieran acceder a este beneficio, puedan llegar a este por medio de nuestro programa. Y sin más introducción, simplemente recordándoles si tienen dudas, si tienen preguntas sobre lo que nos van comentando, pueden escribirlos en la cajita de Q&A y al final resolvemos esas inquietudes que ustedes tengan. So with no more introduction, thank you, Jan, thank you, Raúl. You can go ahead and start the presentation.
Okay, so Erasmus MC is the medical school of Erasmus University Rotterdam. So what you see here is Rotterdam, and this is actually the medical campus, so the Erasmus Medical Center, which is actually a merger of both the medical school and the university hospital. So it's stretching from the left to the right, everything, which is the white building. So as Erasmus MC, we have over 14,000 employees. An annual budget of 2 billion, and that is because we are a hospital. So only 300 million is devoted for research and education. Well, I can tell you a bit more about patient admissions and beds, but the core activities are education and training, research and innovation, and valorization next to the patient care. And also, if you choose for us, no matter whether it would be for a research master or for a PhD, then what you will receive is a blend of education and training, but also the training is in research and innovation with an eye on valorization. What is probably more important for you are our supervision rates, and we are really proud of our supervision rates. So we are a medical school, and you know probably that the medical education is divided in a preclinical and a clinical phase. Everybody knows that for clinical phase, there are tight supervision rates, but even for the preclinical rate, we have about 5 staff members for every 6 medical students in the preclinical phase. And during the residency training, the staff to resident ratio is 3 to 4. If you choose, and that is what most scholars do when they like to go for a scholarship or with a scholarship of Colfuturo to Rotterdam, they choose for a research master, of which my colleague will tell a bit more later on. But there, the supervision between staff and students is 5 staff members for every single PhD or for every single master student. And for PhD students, it's 2 to 1. So maybe you want to know a bit about the rankings. Well, this was actually the ranking for last year. And because we are a medical school, I used the US News ranking. So we use this one because it lists or ranks most of the medical specialties. And we were ranked world number 8 to 42 in the ranking of last year. So we also do biomedical sciences. For that, I used the Nature Index ranking, and we were ranked between 13 and 48. And because academic research is one of our core activities, we also look for the numbers of publications, but not just the number of our scientific publications, but also for the impact those publications have on the world. So I can give you a certain number. So Erasmus MC is here in yellow with a world impact of 2.55 times world average, which by itself doesn't say much to you, but you can also see Harvard University, the medical school of Harvard and the medical school of Johns Hopkins Medicine, they scored 2.27. So that's a bit about our quality. And then I would like to give the word to my colleague. Thank you very much.
Raoul, thank you very much. I will try to share my screen as well, because I think behind all the data of Raoul was a beautiful picture of Erasmus MC, but I thought I show how Erasmus MC looks like. So we are young medical school, 60 years old, something like that, or 55, something like that. And we also have a very new hospital, which is now 5 years old, which you can see here. So I'm not sure if you see my arrow, but probably you will. So if you go here from left to right, this is hospital. The big tower you see behind is our research tower, where most of the biomedical research takes place. And if you go here to the left corner, there's the educational center and Sophia's Children's Hospital. So we are in one campus with the hospital, with laboratories, with the educational center, and with our biomedical research facilities. So everyone is on one campus. And the other thing is, which you can't see, is that if you go to the left and you walk for 10 minutes, you are in the city center, and you have a park and whatever. So it's also a nice place to be and to stay and to have drinks afterwards with your colleagues. So then to share something about where this presentation is for, and that is about our research master and our PhD programs we have. So I'm by training an internist infectious disease specialist. I'm very much involved in Erasmus in education and training. Currently, I'm the head of one of the research master programs in infection and immunity, but I will show you also the other programs we have. If you want more information about who we are and you want to figure out in your own time, you can go to this website, which is ur.nl and then Erasmus Graduate School. I can perhaps later on also post this one in the chat so you can have the link for yourself, because this website really very clearly summarizes what the grad school is about and what our research master and PhD programs are about. So as Raoul said, we are a medical school, and at the same time, we are also very much involved in research. And research, of course, goes from clinical research in patients. We have a big hospital, to biomedical research. I showed you the research tower, which is very much basic, fundamental biomedical research, but also to population-based studies. So we have two very big population-based studies in Rotterdam running from Erasmus MC. One is the Rotterdam study, which has been running for already 30 years, which is mainly looking into chronic diseases in the elderly, and then the elderly is 40 plus. And the other study is population-based study is Generation R, where also already for a long time women during their pregnancy are included in the study, and the growth of the baby is being measured, and all kinds of risk factors involved in pregnancy, but also in development later on until adolescence are being measured. And these are so really two big cohort population-based studies. So it's from the bench, we say, to the bed of the patients, to the population, and back again. So it's very much translational research we do in Erasmus MC. And different from other university medical schools, and different also from other graduate schools, is that in Rotterdam we don't have a school of biology or biomedical sciences. So everything is incorporated in only the medical school. And that also means that we like to attract young students, high potentials for our research master and PhD programs. And the aim of our research master program really is, the main aim of the research master programs is to train students into becoming an independent researcher. So these research master programs are open for a very diverse group of students. The programs are open for our own medical students who, next to their medical studies, want to be involved in research more than within the normal medical curriculum, to train them as what we call physician scientists, and to get them into research as a career as well, next to their medical work. But as I said, we also have a big biomedical research tower, where we also like to attract students who have a background in biology or biomedical sciences or pharmaceutical sciences or biotechnology or whatever, to be more involved in these very basic fundamental research in Erasmus Medical Center. So the students applying for these programs are very diverse. If you look at their study backgrounds, they're also very diverse if you look at their nationality. So big chunk, of course, is students are coming from the Netherlands, but depending on the research master program and the PhD program, you look at 30, 40, and even sometimes up to 50% of students are international. So that could be EU, but it could also a large chunk coming from outside of the European Union. So if you enter these programs, you will see that you will have a very diverse mix of student backgrounds, but also very diverse backgrounds of nationalities, which is also what Rotterdam is really about. So Rotterdam is a harbor city. It's the biggest port in Europe. It's a very diverse city. With about 170 different ethnicities in Rotterdam. So we also tried within Erasmus Medical Center, within the graduate school as well, to have a reflection of this diversity within the city, also in the students and the researchers within these departments. So if you come from outside, you will easily feel comfortable because of these diverse ethnicities, diverse backgrounds students come from. As I said, the main aim is to train within these research master programs. The main aim is to train students to become independent researchers and to take up a career in research, which could be doing a PhD after your research master. But it could also mean that you, after graduating from your research master program, that you would like to be involved more in policy or in management. And what we've seen also the last couple of years with COVID and all the efforts within the vaccine companies is that many of our more fundamentally trained research master students from infection immunity and also from molecular medicine ended up in pharma, helping develop these COVID vaccines, which we have seen being developed the last couple of years. So also there, the path you take after graduating in Erasmus MC from one of the research master programs could be, I'm going to do a career in research, I'm going to do a PhD, and I want to be a postdoc, and perhaps want to have my own research group later on. But you could also choose other areas like pharma or policy and etc. So this website, which I mentioned already, gives you some background information about who we are, what we do, what the organization is like, the type of research master programs we have. I will show you these later on. The PhD tracks we have, which will be very interesting if you do a research master and you want to do a career in research and want to continue as a PhD student. But also practical matters like our international office and contact details from the various programs. Might you have any questions about these programs? So I will focus more on our research master programs. If there is, just to start with, as it states on this website, a master open day on Saturday, November 25th. I'm not sure that you will be in Rotterdam then, but it's also accessible online. So it's a hybrid open day where all the research master programs will tell you who they are, what they do. There will be the program directors giving information, but there will also be students where you can learn firsthand what their experiences with the programs they've been doing have been so far. And as I said, there's a physical component in the sense that it is in a lecture hall, but it's also in a hybrid format that if you would check later on this website, you can find the link to participate and to join this Master Open Day on November 25th. And as I said, so it's already open if you click this one to see if you can join for the online event. So the programs we have is, and then we cover the whole spectrum of the translational research we do in the Erasmus Medical Center, as I mentioned before. So we have health sciences, which is mainly involved in these large population cohort studies, public health research. Then we go to the more clinical part, which is clinical research. And then we have the more basic fundamental programs like molecular medicine, infection and immunity, and neurosciences. There's a new research master program which just started last year, September, which is called Genomics in Society, which is very specifically oriented on using genomics and other omics with a societal impact in mind. And then there is what we call Postmaster Health Sciences, which is a one-year program which you can do after you've done your research master or whatever, or this is mostly aimed at professionals already later in their careers. So, for instance, if you go to the program I'm heading at the moment, because that's the most easy thing to talk about for me, is if you check on infection and immunity, then you will find information about the program, what we do. So it's a research master. You will get a master of science degree. It's full-time. It's 120 ECs for the 2-year program. We have instruction language is English. That's for all research master programs. Location is our medical center, which I showed you. And we have one start date a year, which is the beginning of the academic year here, which is September. What you will see for the various programs is that currently on the website, there's still some variation in application deadlines for infection immunity. Last year, it was 1st of April. For other programs, it could be 1st of March or even 1st of May. But from next year on, so from 2024, all 6 research master programs will have an application deadline for at least the international students, 1st of March. So at least you know that you will have to hand in your documents before 1st of March. All programs then have a selection of all the applications, and you will be notified within a couple of weeks. So in March, end of March, most of the time already, about the results of your application, and if your application goes forward and that you are invited for an interview, then in beginning of April. And then after the interview, there will be a final selection of students who have been applying for these programs. So most of the time, then that would mean that before end of April, you will be notified if you are selected for the program or not. And that also means that if you get selected, that all things, practical things like visa applications, scholarships, and also housing can be arranged in time before you start 1st of September. The setup of the majority of the programs, of the research master programs, is that they will start with a summer course where you will have very intense lectures and workshops on the respective topics. In my case, it's in infection immunity, so in microbiology, virology, etc. And that will part be lectures, that will part be workshops, that will part be practical work. At the end of the summer course, all researchers or research groups who are involved in the research master programs will present themselves, will also present the topics, the projects they have available for you as a student. And there will be discussion sessions where you can have questions and answers from them directly about the topics they offer. Thereafter, you will have what we call lab rotations. So if you know already what kind of topics, what kind of projects you are mostly interested in, you can choose the departments to go to with these lab rotations and to get the people, to get to know them better, to see how they interact, to get more information, more in detail information about the projects. And then finally, you will choose the first project, your first research project. Within the first semester, then you will have some compulsory courses on methodology, statistics, and other courses. After you've chosen your first topic, your first project, you will start writing your research proposal, which you then have to present in January when we have a winter course. And then after January and after the presentation of your study proposal, you will go to the lab, to the department where you will have your project. And you will be there for about 5 months, so until end of June of that year. And then you will write a report on your first project. You will have holidays, and then the second year start with a summer course again. And then you choose a topic, a project for your second year, which is nearly a full year of research. The first project is mainly aimed at getting you to get knowledgeable and in laboratory research, get your skills, get to know techniques, and it's mostly technique and skill focused. The second project really is your own project. So you will be more independent, you will have more of your own work, your own ideas involved in this project. And I said it's nearly a full year of research. You have to write a master thesis on it, and that master thesis should be in the form of a public article for international peer-reviewed journal. And then you present that on a defense session, and you will have a graduation session, and then everyone is happy because you graduate after 2 years from one of these research master programs. So as said, it's a very extensive training in research. For INI, it's mostly lab-based research. If you look at the other projects like health sciences and clinical research, it could also be population-based or more clinical-related research. And the most, I think, specific or unique selling points of our research master programs is that you are in the lead. So we offer many projects, research project you can do, but it's up to you to choose a topic to your liking, a topic to your interest, and really get involved in these projects. The other thing is that, as I said, for your second year project, it should really be your project. So your ideas you can weave into this project. You should really make it your own. And the way we try to do that is that you very easily interact with the researchers involved, with the professors, with the PIs, the principal investigators, with PhD students and other students. Of course, there's a hierarchy, but in Rotterdam, and I think in the Netherlands as such, but specifically as well in Rotterdam, as a research master student, you can easily go to one of the department heads or to the professors to discuss your research project and to discuss your ideas you have about a certain research project. And you should really take advantage of that possibility. As we already showed, we have 5 lecturers, 5 researchers for 1 student within these research master projects. And that means that there are many people circling around you who you can use to get input for your own project and where you can learn a lot from. So bringing your own ideas is always best, and you're very much invited to discuss your own ideas with your fellow students, with the PhD supervisors, with the principal investigators, and also with the professors around. It also means that, as said, it's a full-time program. So it also means that we expect a lot of you, and that you're really involved full-time in these projects as well. But if you're interested in a specific topic, if you're interested in a specific project and you can make it your own project, that is something which comes naturally, and you don't have to be very difficult about it. So on this website, as said, so about infection immunity, you can find anything, why this program overview, how our admission works, how your application works, and what happens after graduation. And as I said before, our research master programs are really aimed at training young students to become independent researchers. The majority of our research master students still continue into a PhD and have science as a research, as a career. But as I said already as well, there are other possibilities as well. And again, you can find here the link to the open day in November, which you can join online if you would like to. And if you want to apply, you can already try. I will check if it works. And you can see here that the next batch for 24, you can send in your application starting of November 1. And it also clearly states what you need, how you need to do that, and there's an email address which you can contact might you have questions about what you need, or if there are hurdles in the application process, etc. And I said application deadline here is still 1st of April, but that will change to 1st of March per 24. If I go back to the other websites, you can also easily find information on the other programs. So if you go to the more other spectrum, like health sciences, you will find the same information about what this program is about, how the program overview is, and how you have to apply. And again, you can join the Master Open Day as well. And the website is really very clear, very easy to navigate, and also your contact details will be easily available for you if you might have questions or might have any other things you would need information about. So this is just an overview of all the information you can find on the program. So going back to the PhD tracks, so there's also this practical matter thing about the international office, which you can try to contact if you need questions, contact details as well, and other information you might need before applying for one of our programs. One short thing about the PhD tracks, we have, you can find information again. There's this video also as well on the Erasmus Graduate School about PhD education. Specifically, you can find short videos from the Research Master programs on the website as well. And also here you can find information about the various tracks we have in our PhDs, and also you can find PhD vacancies, whatever. And what you will see here is that our grad school, our PhD part of the grad school is divided into 3 different areas. One is health sciences, which is, as I said already, the more population-based like studies. One is the clinical sciences, and the other one, which is the biggest chunk, really is the biomedical sciences. And if you look at the connection between the research master and the PhD students, then if you do a research master in health sciences, then obviously if you want to do a PhD, you go into health sciences. If you do a research master in infectious immunity or molecular medicine or neurosciences, then most of the time you will continue your PhD in the track of biomedical sciences. So it's very organically organized in that way. One last remark is that if you look at students, specifically international students, but I think it holds for all students who graduate from one of our research master programs. As I said, the majority of these students after graduation continue into a PhD project and have science and research as a career for the future. That doesn't need to be a PhD track within Erasmus Medical Center. If you look at our alumni, then you see that many of our students end up doing the PhD in a university elsewhere in another country. And we have had many students who joined our research master programs coming, for instance, from Bangladesh, or coming from Colombia, or coming from South Africa, who had joined the research master programs for 2 years. And then because our research master programs are really well known and renowned for their quality, that these students obtain a PhD position in universities all over the world. So that could be Karolinska, Stockholm, that could be Max Planck in Germany, that could be Stanford, Harvard, or whatever in the United States. So doing a research master in Erasmus also makes you eligible for a future international career if you look at our alumni and how they are doing, because they spread over, they come from all over the world, and after the research master program, they are spread over all over the world again as well. So I think with that, I would like to end. As said, if you want to have more information, go to this website, please. As said, there's also a lot of contact details from the various research master programs, PhD tracks, etc. Might you need more information? And if you're interested, you're free and invited also to join the open day in November, where you can sign up for already at this moment. So that will be it from my side. So if there are any questions from you, lady, or from the ones who are joining, then we will be happy to take them.
Yes, thank you, Jan. Thank you, Raul, for the information, for the time, for the presentation. We're going to go ahead with just 2 questions that we have from social media. And the first one is that they're asking about tips or advice about the supervisor, how to find a supervisor.
How to find a supervisor within one of the research master programs, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and what for all programs, what will happen is that you have an introductory course, which is mainly called a summer course in the majority of the programs. And the summer course is really aimed to get to know each other as students within the research master, but also to get to know the researchers involved in the program. And what we aim to do then is to you will have lectures and workshops from the researchers involved, so you will see and hear them, and you can have a discussion with them after the lectures or in between lectures as well. But also the ones who are not giving lectures, but who are involved with projects within a research master program will be invited to come to the summer course and to discuss with the students what kind of projects they have, what kind of work they do, and what kind of projects are available for the students themselves. So for instance, because I know that the best for infection and immunity, every year we update our project list, which we call a Bible. And in that Bible are about 50 different projects from different departments, from different research groups, which are eligible for students to choose.
Okay.
So you already have this Word file with these 50 projects in it, and you can go through it and you can find your own project, or you can find several projects, but you think, oh, this is interesting, and this is interesting. And then it's really up to yourself as a student to go and try to talk to the ones in charge of these projects and to discuss with them. And you have also structured, like the lab rotation, structured information sessions, therefore, but you can easily approach them and mail them or call them or talk with them, during the lectures, discussing with them that you have an interest in the topic and that you would like to have more information about what you will be doing yourself, and then finally choose the project yourself. So what sometimes happens in other programs, programs who are differently set up, is that you come in as a student, you don't have that choice, and you have, if you want to do a project, you have to do this project because this is the only project which is available for you. We work differently. We have a whole list of projects available. You can choose yourself. You can approach the PIs involved in this project yourself, and decide for yourself what kind of project, what kind of topic you would like to do. So it's your choice of a vast number of projects available.
Okay, good. And the second question is about the English language requirement. They have to present an IELTS and TOEFL, and what is the score they should have?
Oh, now I closed already that's I see.
It's 6.5 and 90, I think.
Yeah, that could be. It's different for PhDs than it is for
PhD is 7 and 100.
Okay, that could be that.
And master 5 and 90.
It's
at least last year.
Yeah, true. So there, if you can find it on the website as well for infection immunity, and it's the same. I will put it in the chat as well.
Actually, if they go to the website, they see also the admission criteria.
Okay.
So it's always there, but it's 6.5 and 90.
So if you go to for infection immunity and to admission, indeed, you will find, depending on what test you do. So if you do a TOEFL and you do a computer-based test, then your score should be 232, so 233. If you do an IELTS, then it's 6.5 with partial scores of minimal 6. So, and if you have a paper-based TOEFL, you have a score of 575 with minimal scores of minimal 57. So it's explained on the website. You can read it through the link I put in the chat. Yeah.
We're going to go with the last two questions, and the one is about the work experience after the master or the PhD. Can you tell us about like the work opportunities they have once they finish the program? Yeah. So that has really changed last 4 or 5 years, because before, I think it would depend a little bit on the type of the research master. But for instance, for infection immunity, more than 90% of our graduating students would go into a PhD. So they would continue in research.
What you see now is, and perhaps COVID has played a role in that as well, but I think also expectations from students change during time, is that for infection immunity that has dropped to between 60 and 70%. And what you see, so still the majority will continue into research, will continue into doing a PhD. The others will go to pharmaceutical industries, for instance, to work there, to work in industry, big companies, small companies. For infection immunity, it's logical that many students went to these vaccine companies with COVID, for instance. So a job in industry, pharmaceutical industry specifically, is also where many students end up. The funny thing is that some of these students you will see back because after spending a couple of years in pharma, they still want to go back to academia to pursue a PhD. And the other groups of students, they choose like a career in education, or they choose for a career as a policy advisor, like for instance, Roel is at Erasmus, or more managerial jobs as well. And of course, these policy advisors could be in our university medical center, in academia, but could also be in government, or perhaps in an organization like Colfuturo as well, that you know about the background of research, that you would like to be involved in research in a different way than doing research yourself. Yeah.
Okay, and the last questions will be about, like, what is the ideal student that you are looking for? What would be like the things that they can do to improve the chances of being admitted to your programs?
That's a very difficult question. I don't think we look at the ideal student, because I don't think that the ideal student exists. What I said at the beginning, if you look at the students we have, so that what I forgot to tell you is that the programs themselves, so the research master programs themselves, are small scale programs. So there will be 20, 30 students per year. Meaning that there can be a lot of interaction between the students themselves as well, and that they really can act as a group. And yeah, so the different departments, the different projects, they need different type of students to work with them. And if you are very good technically in the lab, of course that helps. But if you are very good also thinking about projects, that of course also is what you need. You need bright minds, you need bright hands, but you also need bright minds. And if you have both, then of course then that would be the ideal student, but perhaps that's not really there. So I think that a mix of different qualities is really what we look for, and there's not really one ideal student or student characteristic we look at. So one of the questions we very often ask is, so why should we take you? What is special about you that we should admit you to our program? And you can get really very different answers to that question. And it's very often also if, and that's also more specifically if students want to pursue a specific project, there also needs to be a click, which is very subjective. But I think that if you feel, if you're interviewing a student, that this is someone who is interested in the program, interested in the topics, is willing to work hard, because as I said, it's a full-time program, so it's hard work very often. Yeah, then it could work.
Okay, good. So we are going to conclude the session. Thanks again for the time for answering all the questions. And well, the audience, if they have more questions regarding the process, the programs, you can check the webpage that already Jan like give us advice of all the items we have on the webpage and all the information we have. So you have the link to check all this information. And also about Colfuturo, if you have any question about the agreement that we have with Erasmus University and the Medical Center, you can go to our webpage, Colfuturo, and there you can find all the information about this agreement. So thanks again and have a great day. Thanks, everyone.